The amount of fanon that Touhou runs on is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows it to become the juggernaut it is. But on the other hand, there are a lot of popular misconceptions about Touhou characters thanks to the overwhelming amount of fan content. And even though in recent years some of these characterizations have been debunked by canon, some of them persist. And while it's perfectly fine to have your own interpretation of a character, some of them can be, well, contradictory and particularly egregious. One such example is Flandre Scarlet. God, these allergies. But yes, Flandre Scarlet. In terms of characterization, she's always been known as an insane, omnicidal maniac who was locked in the basement by her sister, Remilia Scarlet. But, as the manga Foul Detective Satori revealed, that isn't the case at all. What actually happened is that Flandre purposely stays in the basement. As she revealed, she says, "I have the power to destroy anything. No lock can keep me in. I prefer staying in the basement because I get easy food and it's relaxing." She was also portrayed as fairly lucid and intelligent. She wasn't insane at all, and sure, she showed some sadistic tendencies and was a little cuckoo, but it seemed well within her own mental faculties. Like, she purposely chose to be sadistic. She was aware of her malicious actions. She is not a crazy child. She is just as lucid and intelligent as her sister, which, in a way, makes her absolutely terrifying in comparison. Because Remilia is strong, but Flandre is on a whole nother level. And now we find out, wait, her handicap of being childish is wrong? Because it is. She's very smart, and while a bit unhinged at times, is completely in control of her actions. So, yes, even though in Touhou 17.5 they said, "Flandre, we're going to throw you at the enemy and you're going to destroy them," that was just to get her out of the basement. It wasn't, "Oh, we're going to throw our Hulk." It was, "Flandre, there's a person over here. Do you want to explode them?" And she's like, "Shit, I'm down." So that's basically what happened there. And yes, you can still adhere to your headcanon, but it's not accurate if you say this is what Flandre is really like, because that's what they thought she was really like for the longest time, so it was completely understandable that people thought that. But that isn't what she's like anymore. So, if you're explaining Touhou canon, do bear in mind that Flandre is lucid, she's intelligent, and she stays in the basement of her own volition. Now, on to the next common misconception. Yuuka is genocidal and evil. While she may have been a bit of a nutjob back in PC 98, that part of her character doesn't exist anymore. And even back then, she was just kind of joking. We were unsure if she was really talking about genocide or if she was just like, "I'm ribbing ya." But now in Touhou Windows, people think she is a sadistic monster who kills people. She's not. Sure, if you step on her sunflower, she's gonna beat your ass. But overall, her friendliness level towards humans is actually rather high, higher than other people. Even the Tengu, she's higher than them. She just wants to tend to her flowers and enjoy herself. Sure, Aku, the scandalous bitch, I hate Aku, sorry. She said Yuuka was scary, but she's not. She is not insane. She's a bit misunderstood. She just wants to live her life and enjoy her sunflowers and garden and not have to deal with that at all. So, overall, Yuuka Kazami is not that bad. She's actually nice and kind. So long as you decide not to destroy her flowers, because if you decide to do that, well, I don't know why you would decide to do that. That's just plain stupid. Alright, on to the next one. Yuyuko is a glutton. Let me get it out of the way. She is a glutton. That is canon. That is the canonical fact. She probably ate Mistia, okay? That's the joke in Touhou 7, that Mistia has been unable to live down. It's like the Cybermen blowing up Yamcha. Even in my own poll, you guys are like, yeah, Mistia is Yuyuko's dinner. Like, she showed up in one game after that. I think the 9th game, which is directly after Imperishable Night. And then in the background of Hopeless Masquerade. And that's all we've seen of Mistia. So she might have been eaten. We don't know. I am enjoying her fan game, Misty's Izakaya, but that's completely unrelated. But despite that joke, Yuuka is so much more than a Kirby-like character. Even though it's fun to play it up and say, oh, she is, eats everything. She's actually very intelligent. She was the mastermind of Touhou 7, Perfect Cherry Blossom. She's the one who stole Spring. It was her idea. And she can be quite devious and conniving. There's a reason why she's best friends with Yukari Yakumo, you know, the queen of manipulating everyone. Yuuka is not to be underestimated. So, again, when you're talking canon with people, don't fall into the trap of taking fan interpretations as canon. Again, it's fine to have a fan interpretation and embrace it and say, this is the ideal of the character I want. If you want Yuuka to be a glutton who eats everything, good for you, but don't make the mistake of saying that that is how canon Yuuka acts, because it isn't at all. She's very intelligent, and while she likes to eat, she knows how to stop bullshitting and get shit done. It's something to keep in mind. So, whenever you're discussing canon again, keep that in mind. Now, what is another stupid misconception? Let's see. Oh, I got one. Another misconception is that Ellie's theme, Bad Apple, is indeed her theme. It's not. It's her stage theme in Touhou for Lotus Land Story. Her actual character theme is Spirit Battle Prediction Crisis, I believe it's called. Oh god, Zune, you and your names. But yeah, that's the name of her actual character theme. A lot of people don't know that, even Touhou fans, which is actually surreal to me. What's another one? I've been thinking about this all day, so I've got a few. Sakio wears pads. Yes, that's a meme, but it's also a misconception. She doesn't, because in drawn official art, she is endowed. She has the titty. That is not pads. And I can give you proof right now. Here's your proof. Do you honestly think Zune would think that far ahead? He wouldn't. Dewsworth and Toriyama when it comes to plotting things out. We love him, but he's not good at characterization, whatever. He's not good at that. And also, the pads joke is just overused and boring. Let's forget about it. Let's move on, shall we? I know I didn't have to cover that, but I had to cover it. You know what I mean? I had to. Now, another misconception is that PC98 is canon. It's not. It's not canon. Zune has never confirmed that PC98 is canon. It's treated as canon in a lot of fan works. They make allusions to it and stuff like that. Even Lost World has made a few allusions to PC98 through covers of Bad Apple. But it is not canon. Zune has never confirmed it to be canon, and I think he's done with it and he's moving on. He will never bring those characters back, as much as it pains me to admit that. I'm sorry, guys. Mima isn't coming back. You're free to embrace PC98 and your fanon works and your doujins and fanfictions all you want. But canonically, PC98 is gone. Sure, there are references like Alice and Yuuka, and I think Zune even mentioned that Genji is in the pond behind Reimu. But it's more like a soft reboot of canon instead. Like, he'll reference stuff that does exist. Like, this stuff did happen, but, like, overall for the events of PC98, they are not canon. So while some did get carried over, overall, those events did not happen. Which, it makes you think, shouldn't Zune have just, like, soft reset everything and call Touhou 6, like, Touhou 1, Delta Z, GX, W, T, Y, and Z? But yes, PC98, not canon. Some elements are, but in terms of the plot and lore-wise, absolutely not canon. Never has been. Since, well, it was canon, but then Windows came out and made it defunct, so now it's not canon, okay? Okay. As long as you... That's something to keep in mind. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't know. The manga are canon, as I mentioned with Foul Detective Satori. They're written by Zune. Except for one. I think it was the Tui and Racing manga. And that one is not canon because it was not written by Zune. It's like dubious canon. So take that one with a grain of salt. Now, I've seen people argue that the manga are not canon. those people are stupid. They are indeed canon. I don't think that's a popular misconception. It's just like something I've seen, and I had to mention it. They are indeed canon. I don't know why people would think they aren't. They absolutely are. As are the light novels and other anthologies that Zune puts out. And his music discs and whatever, they're all canon. Now, another thing that people tend to mistake is when it comes to fan anime. Now, a lot of people who are new to Touhou and don't know how it works, they see Memories of Phantasm, which I mentioned in a previous video, and they go, is that an official anime? Let me stop you right there. It's not. It has never been an official anime, and you want to know something? Zune will never allow an official anime. And here's the reasoning. It's not because he doesn't think it won't work as an anime, he actually likes it as an anime. It's because, well, he doesn't want the copyrights to be messed up and the official lore to be jumbled. He doesn't want an anime to supersede his own games, if you know what I mean. Because it would be by a different writer, a director, and that studio, they might also decide, I'm going to copyright strike all this Touhou stuff because it's I'm sharing the intellectual property. And that is something Zune doesn't want. And I think that's also why Reimu didn't end up in Super Smash, because that would allow Nintendo to call shots on Touhou content. Doesn't that sound absolutely frightening? Imagine you're trying to enjoy your Touhou, but it doesn't exist anymore because Nintendo swiped it off the internet because they're unable to get with the times, and they don't even know what a friggin' high-speed internet is. Probably in a phone booth using a dial-up phone with a rotary and they have candles and a horse. Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent there. Nintendo, you suck and I hate you. Love your games. As a company, you can burn in fire. I'm probably going to get a cease and desist, but whatever. And I think that's about wraps up for the common popular misconceptions. Another one is that Zune drinks a lot. He likes beer, but the images are taken far apart. He does like beer, he does like drinking it, but he's not an alcoholic. He drinks during celebrations, and occasionally. He's not constantly drinking beer. That is, again, a joke that was spurred by a rumor that he made one of the Touhou games while drunk. He's not constantly drunk, so take that as you will. In any case, thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped clear up some stuff that you were confused about. And if you're new to Touhou, I hope this has also helped you understand stuff. Oh, and one more thing that I just remembered. Maribel Hearn and Yukari Yakumo are not canonically the same person. They have similar abilities, and it's hinted that they have a connection, but they are not canonically the same person. Fanon runs with it. Hell, I run with it. But if you're talking canon, no, they are not the same person, as much as I wish it to be so. With that, that's all I've got to say for today. Thank you for watching, my fairy maids. And be sure to comment down below on what kind of content you want to see next. Bye-bye!